we're live!
Yeah!
Hey everybody! So I wanted to start off this show with a big announcement. I'm going to put you guys on mute for a second because these are supposedly loud. And that is...
Yeah!
I hit 1,000!
Yeah!
Woo! We hit 1,000 subscribers. So thank you guys for supporting the channel. I know some of you came over from Orlando. Some of you may have been subscribed for 10 years or more now. So whatever it is, Stella's all stressed out now. Stella, calm down. So welcome to this, I want to say this week's Dave and Brian Live, but it's not every week. Oh. Got the heater turned on because it's winter here in Florida. So today, besides the 1,000 subscriber mark, I want to have a few things to talk about. Oh, hello, Phenomenal Brandy.
Yay!
And that is, first, Brian forgot to ask a question last week, so we're going to get to that first.
Okay.
And that is...
So, when you guys see this, maybe leave a comment, because I think we...
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Brandy. What is up with people mispronouncing last names?
Not like by accident, because it's like a foreign name and they're not used to it. Because like letters are pronounced completely different in other countries. Like even like you're saying Smith or
Well, just an example,
Jones.
something
that's easy to pronounce. They pronounce it wrong on purpose.
So I've seen it all over YouTube, like just YouTubers doing a thing where they mispronounce a last name. Like someone will mention Kevin Feige from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, from Marvel Studios, and they'll be like Kevin Feige, Kevin Frankie, Kevin Fugi, and like they'll even like in editing, like they'll shake the camera around and like have the name and shake it all around because like they're struggling with the name, and
yeah.
I don't know if it's like them trying to relate to like people who maybe do struggle with last names or with reading or something, but like I don't get it. It's like all over YouTube now.
But I figure it's because there are a lot of names, like the wireless charger I'm going to review in a little bit, that look like pronounced one way in English, and maybe some letters, you got some...
I know, I did. I got the confetti all up in my drink.
And the same letters are pronounced differently in another language. So I think the idea is that people mispronounce things accidentally so often that like when they see a name, and people think it's funny, so when they see a name that's easy to pronounce, they'll like jokingly ha 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 ha, you know.
Yeah, maybe.
But I thought it was interesting because we just went to lunch at Confisco's, and I was purposely mispronouncing Mexican names for like guacamole and
you were saying
tortilla.
Yeah. Now I know, but I know that
which is kind of the same, which is the same thing, really.
Yeah, but I know that you know actually it's tortilla and guacamole.
Right. But that's pretty much what I feel like is the same thing. Like they know they know how to pronounce the name, but they're just mispronouncing it to be silly. So
I guess, but it's becoming a little too much of a bit over YouTube. I don't think it's that funny. You know, like every video, like they're like this guy here, and
yeah,
you know,
it's
Leviosa, not Leviosa. 100 points to Gryffindor.
So you mentioned that before the show last time, and I was thinking you were going to mention it, and then you forgot. So
I was more asking you as a YouTuber than.
Oh. Well, I thought since it's an interesting question, and I didn't know the answer, like ask other YouTubers, maybe.
Phenomenal Brandy's a Ravenclaw. Excuse me, 100 points to Ravenclaw.
I'm like 50-50 split on, I think, which one was it? Ravenclaw
and Hufflepuff.
Hufflepuff, yeah.
Yeah.
And Brian is completely
Slytherin.
So the next thing is something I missed. Is I went away for 5 days in December and came back, and there was 2 things that were brand new. And like, geez,
Yeah.
you can't even live here for an entire week. Unfortunately, they were only around for a little while, and that was the Universal Character Dance Party, which unfortunately, when I came back from Christmas, I had 2 10-hour shifts on the days that they were doing that. So I don't know if they're going to do that again. It'd be kind of neat to see something kind of like the dance party at Magic Kingdom, but like the stage and everything, because Brian and I know there's a lot of unused stages in Universal Orlando right now. So that'd be something that'd be nice. But
even working in Toon Lagoon, I get the occasional guest asking me what Toon Lagoon Amphitheater is for, and I'm like, well, right now nothing.
It's for wasting space.
Yeah. And I tell them it was for a show, but right now they don't use it.
Yeah. And as of yesterday, there's a big development in Islands of Adventure. Besides the fact that River Adventure is closed until the 25th for their regular maintenance, there are now work walls up, or construction walls up, around Jurassic Park for what's rumored to be, and we don't have any advanced, any other inside information, but it's rumored to be the Jurassic Park roller coaster. And if the rumors are correct, it's going to be the fastest roller coaster in Florida, which this guy's getting excited about.
But we don't know. We really don't know. And we shouldn't speculate, but what is definite is the lower landing in Jurassic Park is closed.
And there's a back of house area that you wouldn't know about. And this, every once in a while for peak, our busiest season, it's been opened up for guests to walk through, but it's pretty rare. But what's been said makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I've also understood that there was supposed to be extra rides at Islands of Adventure. There's supposed to be an extra one in Toon Lagoon. There's supposed to be another one in Lost Continent and another one in Jurassic Park. So this may be a different ride than they were planning to open when the park opened, but there was supposed to be an additional ride in Jurassic Park from what I understand. So a lot of people complain that there aren't enough roller coasters in Universal Orlando. I think there are plenty, but a lot of people don't think so. So this will be good for that.
Well, when you come down to it, the hardcore, fast, big roller coasters are Hulk, the Hollywood Riptide Rocket, and that's really about it.
Mummy seems pretty legit.
Yeah, Mummy's a good one too. Mummy's a good one. Yeah. But yeah, if you're wanting roller coasters, it's not the best place. And I think people are getting tired of simulation. And if you don't like that, here's another simulation.
Yeah, but I mean, a coaster park is kind of different.
Yeah.
A different type of park. But I would speculate that the new park is going to have more coasters, but we'll see. The rumors about what's going in for Nintendo is pretty amazing. And I'm hoping that, especially for you, that the Zelda rumors for Islands of Adventure are true. Not sure that makes sense, but Lost Continent is kind of not that popular. So, also,
we'll see.
As of recently, the Boulangerie has closed permanently, and it's had work walls or construction walls put up. And all we know right now is it's going to be another place for food, breakfast food, and it's going to tie into the Universal's IP somehow. So Minions or Transformers or something like that, or maybe something internal. But that's all we know for now.
So, Fennel Brady asks, why do you think they're holding out to announce Jurassic World stuff or more Harry Potter coaster for that matter? It seems like they would wait until forever to tell us official stuff. The main reason probably is because things change even at the last minute. You never know. It's contract stuff and creative stuff and budget stuff and a whole list of other stuff. So you really don't know. An example is for Horror Nights, I think, was it 25?
Yeah, it was Jack's house. It wasn't Jack's house, but Jack's house got budget as cut.
Mm-hmm. And what ended up being The Purge was supposed to be Scream. Now, MTV has the rights to Scream, and they wanted the show based on Scream to be the house, and Universal wanted the original movie.
Is there a Scream show?
Apparently. That's the whole thing. Like, MTV wanted it based on the show, which I had never heard of. I guess maybe to promote the show, and Universal wanted it to be based on the first movie, and they couldn't come to agreement, so they just dropped it and ended up going with The Purge because Blumhouse said you can do whatever you want, pretty much just give us final approval. And so what ended up being like what they had already worked on just turned into Purge, which is why I think when we toured the Purge house and there's that bathroom scene, it's not a part of any of the Purge movies. Yeah. There's no scene that takes place in a bathroom like that where there's graffiti everywhere. So I think that was supposed to be from Scream 2, which was going to be the Stab movie.
Ah, okay. So...
And, hello, Cheshire Cat.
Yeah.
And then we got stuck with The Purge forever. I don't mind it. I really don't. I was getting sick of Walking Dead over and over again, but, like, Purge, I think you could do enough with that. It's always kind of a new sign, but yeah, a lot of people are like, oh, Purge again. Great, you know.
Especially the year we had double Purge.
Oh, yeah.
but as you're saying that Jack's 25th anniversary house was supposed to be even bigger, but unfortunately they had to cut the budget, which is kind of crazy, being how much money Halloween Horror Nights brings in, that they couldn't just give them a little bit more money, because they would have made up that money in less than a night. But especially if it was like last year. Last year was crazy.
Yeah.
The interesting thing is they planned on extending Halloween Horror Nights this year before Halloween Horror Nights last year even started, because I believe, wasn't it Rock the Universe, was the new dates were announced before Horror Nights 28 started?
Yes, that's true.
So all I can go on is that, but that appears to be that they're planning on extending it before. Yeah, I like spoof movies as well. I actually made a spoof movie short.
Yeah.
Based on White Noise and a whole bunch of other movies. I was going to make it a feature, but it unfortunately never happened. Back to Islands of Adventure. The other thing besides the new construction walls is that the carnival games have recently closed in Jurassic Park, which I never really cared much for them being there, but most likely they're going to move, because they've already been moved from Merlinwood, which is part of Lost Continent, or was part of Lost Continent. Merlinwood became Wizarding World of Harry Potter Hogsmeade. And tomorrow, but only tomorrow, the Hogwarts Express is closed for one day for maintenance. So that's the closures for now. Popeye and Bluto's Bilge Rat Barges will be closing for maintenance again this month or February. They haven't announced it yet, but it's an annual closure. Just to drain it and do a lot of maintenance. That is maintenance of things that are underwater that you can't just drain it and fill it in one day. It's extended maintenance, so that'll be coming soon as well.
They also maintain things that are around that area that they can't do overnight or something.
So it's always around this time when fewer people are going on the rides anyway.
Yeah.
But in January, it could be 40, it could be 80. It's so random.
Yeah. Yeah, one day it's 70, then at night it dips down to like 40 something.
Yeah. And the other thing I missed out on was a dessert party, which was a viewing area for the Christmas parade, and then a special viewing area for the cinematic celebration. That was announced while I was away for 5 days, and I also didn't really get to shoot it because, like I said, when I came back, it was only for a few more days, and I was working those days as well. But I think I forgot to mention that the previous show, which I don't know if that's going to make a comeback or not, but that's an interesting thing. I guess it's something that Disney's been doing for a long time. Stella, that's really loud. Stella, that's really loud. So, another big announcement is, or not a big announcement, is announcement from LegoLand, and I get press releases from them a lot. So,
Bye, Cheshire.
Oh, bye.
I I think that was the guy I met over at Blue Man. If that's
okay.
you, Cheshire, hi, bye.
So the other announcement was from LegoLand, and please let me know in the chat or any comments below if you want me to read this. It's more of a press release, but it's kind of interesting. That is, LegoLand is going to be offering new suites or new rooms in their LegoLand hotel based on the upcoming LegoLand movie.
Cool.
And it's going to be tied in with the LegoLand movie world, I believe, and the Lego movie world. And that's going to include theming for that, and also a skip the line pass for each person who gets it for one attraction in the Lego movie world when it opens, valet parking, and in-room s'mores kit plus free breakfast, which I believe is considered everybody gets free breakfast when you stay at the hotel. But this is going to start on April 8th of this year, of course.
That's a pretty good deal too.
Yeah.
It might be a little pricey, but considering you get all of that, that's a good deal.
Oh,
and so we've got Niche 90 Xbox One. Hi from Kent, UK. I love your channel. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Hello.
We should play some multiplayer on the PS4, right?
Sadly, neither one of us. Atari, yeah.
Stella will play. Stella likes the Xbox.
Yeah. Hi, Stella.
She'll play Call of Duty, and she'll just embarrass everybody. She's really good. I mean,
yeah.
She's a dog. She has nothing else to do, so she just plays Xbox all day.
Yeah. And we're always like, Stella, when are you gonna go out and get a job? Ooh,
yeah.
You guys don't understand.
We come out here to go to work in the morning. She's still playing. Like, gosh, Stella.
Relax, guys. I'm getting the high score. I'm top of the leaderboards now. All right. So, Phenomenal asks, what rooms got redone? Was it Lego Friends?
It didn't say in the press release, I don't believe. So, it might just be regular rooms, but maybe. It didn't specify it was suites or just rooms.
It might be suites with all that stuff you're getting.
Yeah.
So, Phenomenal Brandon says that Stella plays Red Dead 2, but only the parts with the dog.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
She just paws and barks at the screen. She likes the Atari because there's fewer controls. Just joystick.
Yeah.
And today I showed Brian something at the Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man attraction, which is...
So, when you go into Spider-Man and you get to the part of the queue where it looks like you're in the Daily Bugle office and there's cubicles. You'll go past the cubicles, and there'll be an office on your right. The first window has shutters down, and then you'll see what looks like the door, and there's like a wireframe grid over it. And if you look in there, there's a picture of Stan Lee with Spider-Man in the background. It says, "Excelsior forever, 1922 always in our hearts." And it's a nice little tribute to Stan Lee.
I'm assuming that Stan went to Marvel Superhero Island at some point. I was trying to find a picture of it, but I couldn't.
It possibly won't. It makes sense he would have been there.
Yeah.
I mean,
I would assume that he would be there for the grand opening in '99.
Yeah. I mean, the Harry Potter actors were in, I think, the opening of Hogsmeade and Diagon Alley.
Yeah, there you can find that online.
Yeah.
So, speaking of Islands Adventure again, I'm wondering if they're going to be opening if they're going to be able to open the new coaster in May.
Could be. You never know.
Because May. I forget the exact date. I should have written it down. May of this year is the 20th anniversary of Islands of Adventure, and it's looking like they're getting pretty close because I've been told that they've been doing test runs of it. So obviously the track's done. There's theming still going on, but that's wrapping up. It seems like to me from a casual observer, and I haven't been there very often, but it's plausible that they might open in time for the 20th anniversary of Islands of Adventure. Would be really cool.
Yeah.
And then next year is the 10th anniversary of Wizarding World of Harry Potter at Universal Theme Parks.
Mm-hmm.
So
we'll see. They might be doing that. That makes sense, and they're getting, like you said, they're getting close. A guest can't tell like how close they are. We can tell, and they're getting there. So
yeah, I haven't been to a flea market in a long time either.
So Nick09 Xbox One says you guys should take a trip to some flea markets, or a video soon would be interesting to see them not visited for over 7 years. Okay. When we were in South Florida, the biggest flea market, I think, in America.
In Florida, I think.
Yeah, the swap shop was.
Was that too?
What was the other one?
The biggest indoor flea market in Florida is oh, now I just lost it because it distracted me by saying swap shop.
Okay.
Is the Festival Flea Market.
Oh yes,
which used to be a mall, like a regular standard mall, and it closed, and then they opened it as the Festival Flea Market. And I used to go there with my grandma.
Yeah.
My mom's mom, and I haven't been to one since then. I've been meaning to go to the outlets, but even when it's not Christmas time, that place is chaotic.
Mm-hmm. The premium outlets?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, two of them, either one.
But that is a good idea. We should look into some flea markets around here. Does the Whole Foods here do that farmers market?
I haven't seen it.
Okay. The Whole Foods where we used to live did a farmers market on Wednesdays. And so that's kind of a flea market thing.
No, that's a farmer's market.
It's similar to a flea market. The whole setup of, like, you set up your own booth.
Flea market is... was it people who brought their own stuff in?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And they would set up outside, not inside.
I thought they would just set stuff out and like put merchandise out and just call it a flea market. I mean, a farmer's market just for theming.
So, Nish asks, did the Osceola and Osceola and Sanford ones shut down? We don't know.
I don't know. I haven't tried to go to them. But as far as the 20th anniversary, there was a note from Bill Davis that mentioned like a whole bunch of different things. It's not like on a blog, but it's on a team member site, but it's like not.
Yeah, it's a public site.
It's a site that anybody can go to, so it's public in that sense. Mm-hmm. And he mentioned like the new restaurant in City Walk, the new restaurant replacing Boulangerie, the Beverly Hills Boulangerie, and a few other things he's looking forward to. And the one thing he didn't mention was the 20th anniversary of Portofino, City Walk, and Islands of Adventure. And I'm like, well, certainly he didn't forget, but Yeah, I'm
It
surprised.
might still be coming.
It will, but I'm surprised they haven't, like Phenomenal said. I'm surprised they didn't hype it up in that, immediately, because May is coming up pretty soon.
And it is interesting because Universal had their 25th anniversary a few years ago, and they had 25 years under the archway and everything.
But next year is going to be the 30th anniversary of the entire resort, and 30th anniversary of Halloween Horror Nights, and like I said, 30th anniversary of Wizarding World of Harry Potter, which is going to be even bigger. But it is still a big deal to have 20 years for City Walk and Island. So they'll do something. But yeah, I'm surprised they haven't said anything yet.
And so Fennel Brandy asks, "Ooh, new City Walk restaurant? What's that?"
We don't know yet. It was the Emeralds.
Yeah.
It was the Emeralds restaurant, but
Shush.
Stop!
It's okay. I know. It's all right.
Being jerks outside. But we're thinking the rumor. The only rumor we've heard is it's going to be a place called Big Fire Grill, but we have no idea. That might be correct. It may be completely wrong. It's been closed down for a while. Just like the Terminator 2 attraction has been closed for well over a year, and they're just now starting to work on that, which looks like kind of interesting. I'm not sure what that's going to be. There's some interesting speculation about that right now. So right now, I'd like to. I still haven't really set this into distinct segments, but wanted to do a quick review. This is here's what I was talking about before. The wireless charging standard is QI. That's the two letters in the word. So QI would be pronounced
Key?
chi.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Because how do you get chi from QI? I think Qui or Q or Quai, but it's chi. And this is something I bought.
The Q is silent, Dave.
There's still letters missing. I was trying to get the link for this for Amazon earlier. I forgot. I bought this at Target for only $10, and so this is what it looks like. And
Charge.
And the nice thing about it is it charges that way. So any orientation seems to work. Because I heard one of the podcasts I listened to, the guy was saying that how these are not as great as people think they are, because you have to they're round, but you have to put them in a specific orientation. As long as it's in centered, it seems to charge pretty well. The downside about wireless charging in all of them is that it's not super efficient. So it ends up using a little more electricity than plugging it directly in. But because it's contactless, it is a near field. It's kind of like how you recharge a electric toothbrush, because obviously you don't want to have exposed contacts and water. So, but it's convenient because you just. Now, obviously, it only charges. If you want to transfer data over a cable, you still have to plug it in. But for $10, I thought it wouldn't be very good, but it surprisingly, it's worked out pretty well. I've had it for a little while. So, if you are wanting to try a wireless charger and you see this product from actually, not even see what the name of the company is.
I think it's Gems. Yeah, Gems.
This one works surprisingly well. So
cool.
Apple was supposed to release one, but they haven't yet. So I thought, well, I have this, I might as well try the wireless charging, and it is pretty convenient. I don't think it comes with documentation. Maybe it does. But like I said, it's the check out at Target. You can probably find them in other countries, other manufacturers. Usually they're a lot more expensive. That's why I thought $10 is probably garbage, but it works really well. And like I said, any orientation just seems to work just fine. So
cool.
And now we move on to Brian's movie chat.
All right. So I wanted to talk about a movie that came out recently-ish. It's now out of theaters. But probably something that I think many of us have been a part of our lives, and that's Christopher Robin.
Oh, Christopher Robin.
I think... I don't think you have to be a certain age to have seen Winnie the Pooh in some form or another, or read the books. I wanted to go see Christopher Robin. It looked cool, and I do like Ewan McGregor as an actor. I think he's a really cool actor, and as a side note, I like how he is the definitive Obi-Wan Kenobi, because Sir Alec McGuinness didn't really care for Star Wars. He didn't really like it. It was pretty much a paycheck. But Ewan McGregor was a Star Wars fan, or is a Star Wars fan, and really, really took to the role, and I like how a lot of people see him as the definitive Obi-Wan Kenobi. That being said, I like Christopher Robin. I like how they were stuffed animals, or partially stuffed animals, because that's from the books. It was Christopher Robin would imagine they were alive and his friends. So Pooh, Eeyore, and Piglet were stuffed animals. Owl, Rabbit, and Kanga's a stuffed animal, and Owl and Rabbit were actual animals. So if you watch reviews of Christopher Robin, a lot of people are going to be like, oh, the pacing's all over the place, and the movie doesn't really know what it wants to do. I didn't really have that problem. I actually found there was a solid layer of sadness through the whole movie that kind of struck me, and I was really impressed with the movie. I am completely forgetting the man's name right now. The guy who played... Phenomenal Brandon says, I saw Christopher Robin in the theater with my mom and my daughter. My mom cried multiple times. Yep. I'm apparently heartless because I just couldn't quite get there.
And hi, Amanda.
Yeah, hi, Amanda.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, Phenomenal Brandon, I'm with your mom. That movie just, it hit you right in the feels. I wasn't even prepared for it. It punches you in the feels, is what I would say. The guy who's played Pooh, and I'm blanking on his name right now. It's an easy name to remember. But he's played it since '85. He's been Pooh since 1985, consistently. He returns as the voice of Winnie the Pooh, and I think it's awesome.
Kind of like the Optimus Prime has been played by the same guy for so far since the cartoons.
Yes.
I remember there was a documentary on one of the video, I think it was actually VHS, from a few years ago that was a documentary on the origins of Winnie the Pooh, and when I was back at my parents' place for Christmas, they put in the tape and started watching it, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. And then my niece and nephew are like, boring, skip. I'm like, oh man,
yeah,
this is better than the cartoon.
That happens when they get older. I think they'll appreciate that a little bit more, and they'll try to seek that out.
They said that was that some of those animals were stuffed animals, just like regular stuffed animals, is where it started, and then Christopher Robin was the actual kid, right? Was the name of that?
Yes, yeah.
Who came up with his adventures in his mind? Now, was it like when he got older he wrote the books, or was his parent what?
Oh, I forget. There's another movie that Phenomenal Brandy. Thank you. It's Jim Cummings who plays Winnie the Pooh since 1985.
Oh, bother.
Yeah, it's actually funny because he's done he's gone to conventions where he's done voice panels, and they read a script, and he played Darth Vader and Winnie the Pooh.
Oh.
So you hear Darth Vader lines, in Pooh's voice, and then he'll even put the "oh bother." And it's really funny, and like Winnie the Pooh will cuss like during these things, so like it's kind of hilarious. But there was another movie that came out that's earlier that same year that was I think Return to Pooh Corner, and where it talks more about like how the story was made. For Christopher Robin,
was the documentary Making Pooh?
So for Christopher Robin, he starts off as a kid, and he's in the 100-acre wood, and he has to say goodbye to everybody, so they have a party for him. And then he goes off to boarding school, and then he becomes a soldier in, I guess, World War II. And he forgets about everybody, because he has to grow up. And then his daughter finds his old drawings and stories and reminds him, and that's when Pooh wakes up and comes and finds him.
Come find me when you wake up.
Yeah.
That's from Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah. So that's why there was like a layer of sadness to Christopher Robin. That really, really struck me. But so if you're a Winnie the Pooh fan and you can handle a little bit of sadness, I recommend going out and watching Christopher Robin.
If you're a fan of the Pooh.
Yeah.
There's two more announcements I kind of got mixed in here. Something, it's not really an announcement, but it's new to me. I just found this out. Did you know, Brian, that we have Dole Whip at Universal?
I did not know that, Dave.
I thought that was a Disney exclusive, but I was at Schwab's, because Schwab's is open now because of the lingerie being closed, and I was looking at the menu and saw a Dole Whip pineapple sorbet. I'm like, you can get that here? So I'm like, oh, okay.
Cool.
I don't know where else you can get it besides Schwab's. It could be part of why I didn't know it was in Universal, because Schwab's is closed a lot.
Yeah. Schwab's is one of our seasonal places, and most of the time you'll go by there and you think it's just a storefront because it's never open.
I can see inside it's a real thing, but
yeah.
It's a 1950s, maybe even earlier, old school drugstore.
Mm-hmm.
That's the theming. And of course you can find sodas and tea and coffee there, and mostly Ben & Jerry's ice cream. But the other thing is that, not surprisingly, the annual pass holder lounge has been extended to March 31st. It was supposed to be only until till the end of this month, which didn't really make sense. They cleared out a whole. Well, it was called Studio Styles. It was a place that sold sunglasses for a long time, and I guess they didn't make enough revenue, so they turned it into a store for the Cinemax Celebration, which seemed odd, but I guess they were trying it out. Basically, it was a store for that was merchandise from all of the movies that they have merchandise for, all of the movies that were in the Cinematic Celebration. And they called it the Cinematic Celebration store, but they didn't sell any merchandise which had the Cinematic Celebration on it, which I would think that would be the case for something like that, but it wasn't. So it's going to be extended till March 31st, and between January 25th and January 27th, the hours are going to be extended. They didn't say by how much. The weird thing is the place closes at 4 p.m., but it doesn't open until 11. So people who are there for the Christmas parade are like, oh, where's the pass holder lounge? And every time I've been asked, it was after 4 p.m. and I have to tell them, sorry, it's already closed.
Yeah.
And power passes, you may find that you're blocked out because it is a small space.
Okay.
So it's based on availability, based on capacity. There is something that's in there that's pretty cool that Brian should try out. I can't because I'm not a pass holder. Is it instantly freezes soda, I believe. It makes it kind of slushy. I told you about that, but I guess you haven't tried it. I'm not a pass holder anymore because I don't need to be, and I can't afford to be. So So back to what Phenomenal said here.
So Phenomenal says, my Frogo place here locally actually has Dole Whip, and I think I think any chain can buy the mix from Dole.
Oh.
So I screwed that up. She thinks any chain can buy the mix from Dole. It might be a little bit pricey.
I thought that was I thought the big deal that all the Disney fanatics are all crazy about is it's a Disney thing. It's a Disney thing. And
well, it might be tougher to find locally because like it's something you never hear about until you get to Disney, and then it's like Dole Whip.
Even though everyone's heard of Dole, or most people have.
Yeah. So that's cool. Thank you for that tip, Phenomenal Brandy.
Yeah.
I wonder if you can do some like internet research and find if you can find a Dole Whip locally.
Maybe. It's still pretty uncommon. What I don't know is if they serve it with pineapple juice as a float like they do it at Disney. But I'm sure any place that, I don't know if they do that at Universal. Obviously, any place that has Dole Whip can just add the pineapple juice and do that. But that's a nice thing as well. I like. So we've now come to the Tool album update. And the update is...
What?
Nothing. There's still...
Woohoo!
Okay, well, that is your Tool album update. So...
Yeah!
What else do you have?
Well, I know that these pieces fit.
Why?
But I watched them fall away.
And we're still working on getting some guests, possibly the next show. We'll talk to some people. Of course, it's dependent on their schedule as well.
Yeah.
As of now, we're going to try to be back on the 30th. So that's the last show of January. Maybe do 5 o'clock. What do you guys think about 5 o'clock instead of 6 o'clock, or no preference? Today we went out to do a sort of a celebration lunch.
Mm-hmm.
So
For 1,000.
6 o'clock worked a little bit better for us. But do you guys have anything else to ask us about the parks?
Or anything in general?
'Cause that's my list of stuff, and
Yeah, that's pretty much my list of stuff. So if you guys have any more questions or comments, concerns, I guess not. So let's go ahead and wrap up, Dave.
all right.
Well,
So
let's give it another second. People might be typing.
Yeah.
Any HH updates or new rumors? Nothing I've heard.
no.
Except for the earlier week. That's definitely confirmed.
Yeah, that's been confirmed for a little while. It was pretty obvious when they changed Rock the Universe, but it is definitely confirmed for 1 week earlier. That doesn't mean that they might slip in another day somehow, but we know that it can't extend much after the beginning of November, unfortunately, because they don't even wait for Halloween Hornets to end to start putting up Christmas stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But they take their time taking the Christmas stuff down. That's the thing I don't like. I used to love Christmas, but not really anymore, because Christmas pushes Halloween aside, but nothing pushes Christmas aside, because there's nothing that comes after it that everyone's rushing to get. Valentine's Day is kind of moving in, but not really.
Yeah.
It's not that big of a deal. So.
I will speculate that I think within the next 3 years we're going to see Halloween Horror Nights starting in late August.
Possibly. But it's going to be slowly, because they work on that more than a year in advance.
Mm-hmm.
So they need time to ramp up for something like that. Especially if this year's Halloween Horror Nights is crazy busy like it was last year.
Mm-hmm. And we'll see what happens for 30.
Yeah.
I'm actually looking forward to HHN 30.
I hope they go back to a strong icon and a theme, and actually putting 30 in the title. I don't know why they don't do that.
Oh, if you guys missed it, you HHN fans, look on, I think it's Universal's official channel, but type in...
Probably the blog.
Maybe. No, it's a video.
Oh.
So look up, you know where you're a Halloween Horror Nights fan when, ... Look that up in YouTube, and you'll see like a bunch of like Horror Night fans like doing things like wait, nothing like the Hornets fog. I wish I could bottle it.
Oh yeah.
And then
which is kind of silly because you can't, it's just fog. You can't bottle it.
Yeah.
It's in bottles.
But like there is something like about the smell of Hornets. Like walking into the house, it's just that certain smell. And you'll see them doing something like there's two guys who sit down in front of the Fear Factor stage, and they're like, "Why are we here so early? Well, we got the best seats. The show doesn't start for 7 hours." And they're like, "Oh, hold on. Do you remember during HHN 25, 30, HHN 17, HHN 10?" The funny thing about this is everybody you see on screen was some major part of Horror Nights. They were either icon performers, or there's some show direction in there, or certain people named William or Theodore. So go ahead and look that up. It's a really fun video. And for me, looking at it like, oh, I know who that is. That's really cool.
Yeah. And also, there is a thing about walking back a house in the time of the year that Halloween Horror Nights houses start being built.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is about it, but there's a certain smell that comes from Halloween Horror Nights houses.
Yeah.
And even when they just do the very, very, very beginning of building them, you can smell whatever that is. And I've cut wood in here before, and I thought it was fresh cut wood, but it isn't. I don't know what it is. But there's some smell that comes out from the sound stages. You can smell it from pretty far away. I'll be walking near it and it smells like Halloween Horror Nights.
Yeah.
It really is. They should make a Halloween Horror Nights air freshener.
They might,
Smells
actually.
like scary.
Smells like scary. They might, because Universal does work with a company that makes air fresheners, and they've got some unusual scents like burnt forest or dead body, which Universal will purchase. And Phenomenal Brainy asks, can you close your eyes and smell the fake popcorn and pumpkin gut smell? Not quite, but I can kind of close my eyes or take a second. I can hear the triggers in my head.
Yeah.
Daddy, or my own triggers, or I can kind of close my eyes and picture walking into The Shining.
Close your eyes. Sorry.
And hear the Shining theme and the falling snow and seeing the hedge maze opening, and yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and wrap up, Dave.
Yep. I was going to say something, but I forgot.
Okay.
So, thanks for joining us live. It's hopefully I'll pick up a little bit later in the year. That maybe last time it was the first of the year, so. But we will try to be back, and if it works out, we might have our first guest. If not, that should be coming soon.
Mm-hmm.
So, thanks for watching, and I'm going to mute you guys again because we're going to do some poppers.